Hello everybody and welcome to Hot or Hype, the show where we quiz the everyday person on the street about trends in retail technology. This is a really fun time to be in retail. Technology is transforming the world around us, and the retail industry has been impacted greatly. We've seen in the last decade startups rise to huge prominence, and old retailers that we thought would be around forever die and go away. It's a time where retailers are investing a lot in different types of cutting-edge technology. Some of that technology right now is hot. Everybody knows they need to adopt it to bring their business to the next level and get really key business outcomes. Some of it is hype. Think the Gartner hype curve. It's early in the curve. Not everyone is investing in this technology, but it's very cutting edge and can create really exciting retail experiences. So, having said that, let's look at some of these technologies and see what our people on the street think of them. Are they hot or are they hype? Let's go. Hello, welcome to Hot or Hype. You can do whatever you like. Okay, great. Blockchain. Retailers are investing in blockchain to give more transparency to their sustainability initiatives and counterfeit protection. Is that hot or is it hype?
I think it's hype, but it's I'm gonna say type.
It's hype, yes! You are correct. Good call. Always go with your gut. Absolutely. Blockchain is super fun, cool technology right now. And it is, that's exactly it. It's being used in some cases, but it's tough. Suppliers need to control their entire supply chain. You see it used in pockets of innovation, but not wholesale just yet. It hasn't got to hot. Thank you for playing.
Thank you.
Retailers are putting IoT in stores to create interactive shopping experiences. Is that hot or is it hype?
It's hot.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's actually hype. IoT is very hot right now. We see it a lot in manufacturing. We see it a lot in supply chain. We don't see it so much in digital experiences. That's still a really kind of new cutting edge way to use IoT. But it is a great technology. I think it's hot. All right, thank you. Wait, what? The technology is Robotic Process Automation, RPA. So the question is, RPA is being used to automate manual processes and create new business efficiencies. Is it hot or is it hype?
I would say that it's hot.
You are so right! It's hot! Yes! RPA, although relatively new, is very hot in retail right now. There are so many manual processes that need to be automated, and RPA, which is the combination of bots and AI, is great at automating a lot of those mundane retail tasks that retailers worry about every day. Yes, thank you for playing.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Hot or Hype. We're here today with the extremely knowledgeable retail expert, Chris Dieringer.
Is it weird to give myself my own applause?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely not. I do it for myself all the time.
Wonderful.
Yes. That's the kind of show we run here.
Okay, great.
So we're here to talk about consumer goods. So we're Hot or Hype is all about retail, trends in retail, technology in retail.
Okay.
Consumer goods is a huge part of the retail industry, and there's tons of transformation going on out there today.
Yeah.
So I'd love to hear your point of view. You're out there working with our customers day in and day out. So what are you seeing in the consumer goods industry?
Sure. In most of these that I do, there's an introduction so people know who I am and what I'm about. Should I start there?
Oh, absolutely. Go ahead. Yeah.
So let's go there then first, so I have some credibility with the audience, or none at this point. My name is Chris Dieringer, so I lead our U.S. retail and CPG practice for enterprise commercial. And what does that mean? That is kind of a mouthful. What we do, or there's two things that we do, is we bring technical capabilities and industry relevance to all of our customers. And so what does that mean? Essentially, right, we spend a lot of time in the marketplace, in the industry, watching and looking at trends, and we help our customers realize those trends within their digital transformation journey wherever they're at. So that's essentially the team that we have that I think you get a chance to be a part of.
Oh yes, I'm on this team. I love being a part of this team. It's great. There's so much exciting, fun technology in the retail industry today. And not only that, you grew up in retail. Didn't your parents have a store in Portland, Oregon when you were growing up?
I didn't bring slides, but I could have brought a picture, yes. We had a small chain of about 9 stores in Portland, Oregon called the Dieringers, and it was us and the Waltons. We were neck and neck, right? And there's obviously been a clear winner of that in the Walmart industry today. We are probably in an archive somewhere in a grocery space. But yes, I grew up in a grocery store. My parents, I think, used it as a babysitting mechanism. Like I would go through and box cut, clean up aisles. There's a heavy banana process that you got to watch out for. But yeah, and I think I would get paid in cookie crumbs as we went through that. From there, yes, I went over to Pepsi-Cola. So I spent some time at Pepsi-Cola from a distributor perspective, from Pepsi-Cola bottling company. 5 years at Hewlett-Packard, so half on the engineering side, half on the consumer goods sell-through side. And then I recently spent 5 Black Fridays in our Microsoft retail stores to round out that background.
Impressive resume.
That can be all right.
And now you get to work with some of our biggest customers in the U.S. on retail, digital transformation, and innovation.
Yeah.
It's exciting, fun stuff.
Yeah.
So consumer goods is a huge part of that. What are you seeing out there in the industry? What if there are consumer goods companies out here watching this, kind of where do you think they should be investing to get the most out of this technology transformation we're going through today?
Is this the time where our LinkedIn and 1-800 number flashes to call us today? That's how I feel as we go. Yeah, exactly. I think about it in consumer goods in 3 areas: consumers, customers, and capabilities. Right. So consumers, for those not native to the consumer goods space, are you and me, right? People who go into a store and buy things. Consumers, I think a couple of stats that I recognize. Millennials today, there's I think 73% of those millennials will spend more money on products they believe are environmentally and ethically sourced. Right. So you've got this good for me, good for you, good for the planet piece that's being driven. On top of that, I think the latest stat was 80% of households are buying organic, right? So that's a massive push from what might have been done traditionally to I'm very interested in where my products are being sourced, how they come from, and how they're prepared. So all very interesting from those side. And all of those things are being expected at a level of convenience that's very high. That's just an incredibly important piece when you look at all those areas of higher level quality products at a faster rate. So that's what we see in the consumer space. Customers, if you think about customers, those are the retailers. So a Walmart, a Costco, a Best Buy for other products, a 7-Eleven for C-stores. Those are the customers that they sell through to. And there's always been sort of an interesting relationship between the companies that supply those, who believe they have incredibly, and they do really have good shopper insights, to the customers, the retailers that own the customer experience, the consumer experience. And some of the stats that we see or talk about there are, I think there's these new challenger products that are out there today, or like new startups that have come out that are incredibly fast to market, that come out there and that are eating away at what some of our traditional CG companies might have seen before. I think it's about a $128 billion business, and it's grown 5% year over year. The other one is white labels. White labels is an incredibly big business that our retailers have larger margins, so when they have their own products on a shelf, they're able to sell those for a higher rate. That then starts to compete with the consumer goods companies that are out there today. So if you look at that, I think what's really important is connecting up the relationship between the retailers and consumers, understanding which products land at the right time, at the right market, at the right shelf. And then the last thing, if I think about these 3, is capability. So there were also other stats out there. I think 80% of CPG or consumer goods company CEOs say that they believe they are not ready for today's or the next generation's demands of their products, right? That's a massive amount of not having the capabilities you think you're ready to serve your customers and consumers. The other thing that they noted is 56% of their data is locked today that they can't unlock, that's just stored in either many different sources, many different areas, or can't refine it to the level of degree that they need to make actionable next steps or decisions. So I think, if we look about those 3 areas, consumers, customers, and capabilities are three things. And we've seen more change in the last 10 years to consumer good companies than any time before. And so now is definitely the time that we've seen them try to pivot and make changes that are better for themselves, better for the environment, better for the planet, and better for their customers ultimately.
Well, you're describing an amazing world. Better for the customers, better for the planet. I mean, absolutely. I think a lot of the technology we have today can help drive us there, help get us there.
Yeah.
I think kind of just teasing out some of the stuff you talked about, especially for consumer goods companies, that ability to have a really strong omni-channel presence, especially if they're selling through retailers, they're distributing their goods in different ways. Being able to have that key connection with the customer I think is becoming a more important part in consumer goods today, where in retail it's really always been there in some way.
Yeah.
I guess maybe if you could talk to that a little bit, what you're seeing out there in the industry as far as omnichannel goes in consumer goods.
Sure. Well, what you hit on is really, and I'll use a couple examples, right? So if you look at what happened to Mattel and Hasbro when Toys R Us closed up shop, right? Their market share cut in half. Same thing, look at what happened to Under Armour when Dick's Sporting Goods went through some right sizes, right? You saw through no fault of the CG company's own changes, external factors as well as their retailers making adjustments that hits their bottom line. So one of the things we talk about, and you see there's subscription services out there, there's just a better way that consumer goods companies can build brand affinity and connection directly with their consumers. And that's the thing that we talk about, is how better can they know them, can they realize them, can they see what they're doing down to the zip code level and provide them with relevant offers that is material to them. And that's when we talk about personalization, right? How can we get and translate those shopper insights at the consumer layer down to the shopper? And that's through proximity, through identity, through content, all on an underlying bit of data that they can work through. One of our examples I like to talk about is Pepsi in this case, right? Pepsi Frito-Lay. So they had an example of, we think back to Easter, they had a Give the Easter Bunny the Break campaign with Chester the Cheetah. And in that, it's an interesting one, right? Did you put any chips down for your kids' Easter baskets this year?
No, I mean, that's junk food, man. You got to try and keep kids healthy these days.
You're not part of their target audience. So what they went after, what they specifically went after were they build, and if you think about it, they'll build these corrugate displays or end caps you'll see in grocery stores. And they were pushed out there, unadvertised campaign, and they created 12,000 of those that they put out in market that they would see these at, as you as a consumer would go in and check these out and go see them, and then hopefully buy as you walk through. Of those 12,000, only 600 of those made it out into store. So from the creation to the delivery to the shipment to the realization of showing up in store, that retail execution is incredibly low, right? We spend a lot of money on that on that product to see that it gets out there, so we get the right amount of uplift. What we simply did is just put little beacon trackers to track the assets. That allows Pepsi to depreciate the asset it goes through, so they know where it is and when it's out and out there for how long, know that it got to the right spot. And then from there, the really compelling part about that as we get to consumers is it gives them a Trojan horse to customer. So with the right partnership, so if you have alt recipes on your phone or if you have Redbox on your phone, Pepsi or Frito-Lay now has the opportunity to send relevant messages directly to those consumers. So when we talk about the ability to do that, it's really an interesting way to get there.
It's a great example. I love how you weaved in the Internet of Things through that beacon connection, creating that personalized connection of the customer in new and innovative ways. Absolutely. And I shouldn't downplay and say it's junk food. I eat that stuff. So I try not to influence my children in that way.
I eat a little bit more than you do, Chris, so it's fine. I'm making up for your demographic. We did talk about I think when you mentioned the connection, the good for me, good for you, good for the planet. Some other examples I like. So Mars and Anheuser-Busch, two kind of different organizations, but had that same environmental and ethically sourced initiative. Starbucks from bean to cup, Mars was specifically for Uncle Ben, from rice paddy or farm to fork, essentially. And I think there are 5 initiatives that they worked on there, and it's if I remember them all, it's land, water, greenhouse, labor, and one more that I'm forgetting, might be environmental. But in each one of those are main stages that they look at. And the great thing about that is we're able to track through our blockchain and transparency solutions, right? The bean, bean, the stages that the bean goes through, the rice paddies and where they're built. Are we ethically and environmentally sourcing those correctly? Are we paying the people the right amount? And the interesting thing at that point is the farmers can actually see where their beans goes, and consumers then, through a QR code on the packaging, can pull up on their mobile app and see the farmers that they're buying from, the product, the hygiene of the product, all of where that is sourced and pulled from directly to the consumer. So it gets to that transparency as well as ethically and environmentally sourcing. Anheuser-Busch, even like for them, if you look at their focus, was optimal performance of barley. And so we even had drones and machine learning algorithms to sense where were the right barley fields and yield and weather to get the most optimal product out to consumers as needed.
I love these examples because in Hot or Hype, these are some of the technologies we've been talking about with our people on the street. And what I think is fascinating about blockchain, using drones in your supply chain, and that these are cutting edge technologies. Not all companies aren't adopting this yet because this is kind of it's early in the hype curve, if you will. And really leading cutting edge companies can harness this technology to find new efficiencies, new ways to reach the consumer. And absolutely, with the millennials, it's a great point. And Gen Zs are right behind those millennials. And they're going to have an even greater, I think, effect, kind of, based on some of the research that I've seen around this push towards more environmentally friendly, smaller sourcing and all of these things that are enabled by blockchain, IoT, and these types of cutting-edge technologies. Absolutely, all great stories.
Well, one of the last ones I like is McMara, the whiskey providers, if we stick with alcohol for a minute.
Also, not for Easter basket.
No, but a plug. What's interesting for that is they had the first AI-generated whiskey ever, right? So if you think about it, humans have always owned the master blending relationship, right? Which is the right amount of recipe, mix, color, all sorts of other things that I don't understand. Let's say advertised or award-winning blends that come through together. The AI-generated model grabbed all that information, put it together, and then recommended the right recipe to put together for their latest blend. And then that allowed the master blenders to see and adjust and taste whether or not that actually met the needs that they were looking for. So it's a great kind of story of a new innovative way where we have AI assisting the work that the master blenders are doing, and we kind of call that AI generated, human curated, for the first ever AI generated whiskey out there for you to try as you need to.
Yes, absolutely. It's another great example of how we're working with our customers to bring innovation to this retail CPG business. And you're absolutely right with AI. It doesn't replace a lot of the work. It augments it, it enhances it, it speeds it up, and allows people to think in new, innovative ways and create new things that would have taken ages to create in the past.
So clearly, coffee, whiskey, chips is the demographic that I fit, and so we'll have to look at some more healthier ones here shortly.
Absolutely. Well, we'll have to do that next time.
Yes.
But it was great having your insight on the show. I always love hearing your customer stories, and absolutely, get back out in the field and keep generating more awesome stories with this great technology, Chris. Thank you so much for being on Hot or Hype.
Yay!
Well, everybody, thank you again for tuning in to this week's episode of Hot or Hype!